everybody. Cleo, please. She just decided to start literally right now. Right now. Let me let her out. I'll be right back. But we're about to start this live. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, hi everybody. Hello, 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 hello. All right, we're gonna be doing this beautiful live today with the Sanctuary Challenge with my friend Ryan. I'm going to, let me see the requests. I'm gonna put them on with us so that we can get it going. We can get it going. Sanctuary. Perfect. Here we go. Allow it. Send request. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Today we're talking about self-care.
So we can get it going.
You heard me?
We
I'll be
can
writing
get
songs,
it
man.
going, yeah.
You better sing. Okay.
Hey, girl.
Hello, Ryan. Introduce yourself to the people.
What's up, people? I'm Ryan. I'm a friend of Lauren's. I'm a friend of Lauren's friend, Brenda. What do you want me to say? I'm so glad to be here. Lauren, thank you for having me on. Yo, your followers, I don't even like that word, your friends via the internet are wildly amazing.
Yes, they
You
really are.
posted about this earlier, and right afterward, I went and did a live stream with my friend Emily, who's a meditation teacher. And in the comment section, it was just, "Where's Lauren? Where's Lauren? When's Lauren coming?" And I was like, y'all, we'll be back in 3 hours with Lauren, but I love you, and I'm glad you're here. We're going to talk about meditation now.
Yes, we are. I love that they were there because everybody needs that. Everybody needs to be talking about it.
Totally. How you doing?
I'm good. I've been meditating. So I have I've consistently been meditating for 4 days now?
Good for you.
I can feel the shift. Like I can genuinely feel, I just feel like I'm slowly but surely getting into the observer seat. You know what I'm saying? Where that was always an issue for me. Like I've just had a really hard time meditating my whole life.
Yeah.
I can't sit the fuck still. My brain is like a mechanism. Like it just is constantly going. And so I always felt like a fake person while I was meditating because I was like, I'm acting like I'm meditating. I got this pretty ass music playing, but at the same time, my brain is telling me so many things right now. This can't be meditation.
100%. And that's what keeps most of us, myself included, from meditating. But as I just heard you say, you've done it for 4 days and you feel a shift already.
Literally. Automatic.
It's so powerful. Yeah. It's so powerful. And I imagine that everyone listening can really relate to the fact that their brains are going a million miles a minute. Especially today, this year has been so unbelievably unpredictable and daunting and stressful and anxiety ridden. And that's why we're really launching the Sanctuary Challenge, is to try to give people an opportunity to take a breath, learn how to slow down, and start learning how to nurture themselves, because we're all always waiting for someone else to nurture us, for something else to take care of us. And meanwhile, what I've found in the 11 years as a life coach and a meditation teacher is we actually have the best resource to nurture, which is ourselves. It's just no one ever taught us how to do it,
Literally. I mean, that's definitely the journey that I'm on and that I've been on this year, for sure, is learning how to self-soothe, like you taught me, the first time that we spoke, when I was in Jamaica, just about kind of detaching myself from all of the narratives that I've been given about who I am and what I'm supposed to do and what my responsibility is, and really reacquainting myself with the fact that I'm really here to fulfill my own purpose. And that's literally the only thing that I have to do is live my truth. That's it.
Totally. And you're somebody who's a natural caretaker And I remember our very first conversation and realizing the number of people, and I really resonated with it because I feel the same way. Like I grew myself up to be a person that I thought my responsibility was to take care of everybody else. And I didn't realize how much I wasn't taking care of me and how I was being blocked from my dreams and my destiny and my fulfillment because I was always focusing on everyone else before myself. And so building that new relationship with ourselves can be really, really hard. You know, it's like I keep saying that that's why this thing is called the Sanctuary Challenge, not the Sanctuary Easy. Because in the world in which we live today, to find that sense of sanctuary, which to me is just that safe place inside myself where I get to be exactly as I am. For me, as a queer man, as a creator, as somebody who feels deeply, as somebody who has lots of wounds and shames and fucked up messages in my head, and that I get to be exactly as I am and I'm deserving of love exactly as I am. And in the world in which we live, that's always messaging at us who we need to be and what we need to look like and what we need to say and what's improper and what's too much. And that too much one, you're too much, you're too much. Like, fuck
How many
that.
times I've been told that in my life? Oh my
You know what those
God.
people are saying? You know what they're really saying?
I wish I could be
Is,
as much. I wish I could
yeah.
show up as much as you do.
And when you being all of you in my presence, it's like I'm aware that I'm not being all of me and I don't want to be reminded of that,
Amen.
you know?
Amen.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard, but it's good. It's good to get to the other side of all of that.
I completely agree. I feel like this, like I said, this year has been that transition for me. And it's really a day by day thing. Like one thing I really love about the Sanctuary Challenge is that it, you get like a cute little thing to keep you accountable where it has like all of the different, I don't even want to say tasks, but just like things that you're doing for yourself, self-care moments, that you create for yourself throughout the day, and then you kind of tally it and see how far along you're going and what you're getting to, and then you kind of get to take inventory without judgment. You know what I'm saying? You get to like look at it and be like, wow, I'm kind of struggling in this area, like maybe I should put a little more effort into that. Or actually it's really hard for me to meditate. I need to figure out what practices, or maybe I limit it to maybe once a week I meditate, and like I start there until I feel more comfortable getting further into it. But the point of it is definitely holding yourself accountable to your own healing,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, like I feel like in this world, there are so many people, so many healers, so many, social media gurus that tell you that they got the answer. And really, the answer is inside of yourself. The answer comes
Yes.
from the stillness and the quiet that you allow your mind to take up, and that's when the answers come to you about whatever it is that you need to know. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that there's like a voice in your head being like, this is the answer. You know what I'm saying? It's more like when you start, like, again, when you start to observe, you start to live your life as an observer instead of an active participant, or you just take a few minutes out of your day to be like that. Naturally, everything else in your life starts to fall into alignment with not affecting you as intensely as it has before. You know what I'm saying? Because you have this like clarity with which you're navigating your life that allows you to have discernment when things
That's
pop,
right.
you know?
That's right. What you just said is so key for people to hear. Two things. One is that in a world where everybody is a mental health expert because they have an Instagram page or a program or whatever, something you can buy, what I always suggest to people is the best healer is always going to point you back to yourself. The best healer is not the person who says, I have some kind of magical power, and if you come to me, I'm going to heal you. The best healer, the best therapist, the best coach, the best mentor is someone who's guiding you back to yourself. Because the truth is, Lauren, is like, we are amazing beings. If you look at the fact that we were conceived and then gestation and then pregnancy, and we built these bodies, natural intelligence built these bodies that are genius, that can inhale air that is being exhaled by the trees,
Even
and
if
the
we forget.
trees,
the body's still gonna do it.
Exactly. We don't even have to tell the body what to do. And the earth grows our food that our mouth knows how to chew and swallow into a digestive system that knows how to, via bacteria, that knows how to break down that food and feed us so that we have energy. I mean, we have all the ample evidence of the most incredible natural intelligence closer to us than our fingertips. But then the mind says, because of the way we were raised and the society in which we were raised, says, yeah, but you're separate from all of that. So you got to figure out your life, your career, your healing, your stuff. You got to figure out every solution to every problem that you have all by yourself. And it's
Mhm.
bullshit. Like if I cut my arm right here, over a couple of days, it'll bleed, it'll scab, the scab will fall off, and it'll heal. I don't
Mhm.
have to tell it how to do that. And the same thing is true for our psychological life and our emotional life, our spiritual life. And the thing is that we are so often running away from that healing because we're doing so much and we're moving so fast and we're scrolling so much and we're
Yeah.
so out there that the healing is right here. We don't have to do anything other than sit down.
I think for me also, a lot of the reason why I'd run away from it for so long is because I'm a perfectionist. And I have this obsession with being good at something immediately and being, an expert at something immediately.
Yeah,
And so I really have, um, in that regard, harmed myself sometimes because I don't allow myself to just be present in the process. You know what I'm saying? It's like I go into straight judgment mode and I'm like, okay, well, I'm a piece of shit because I did this, because I'm very logical. So I can, assess what I've done in my life and I can assess how I've handled things and I can assess. I'm a great assessor. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like I
totally.
have all these facts and then I feel overwhelmed by the fact that there are parts of me that I have to heal, right? And then so healing became like a task for me. It became like, okay, I have to heal. So what do I do to heal? What constitutes healing, right? And then it became like a to-do list where I became very acquainted with my shadow, but then I identified with my shadow. I really identified with that person. And I was like, oh my God, I have all of these things that are shadow qualities about myself, right? And so that became my narrative. Like, I'm this, I'm that, I do this way, I do this that way. And if you think about even the language that I'm using, I'm this, I'm that, that's the same language we use for affirmations.
Yeah.
If we're trying to rewire our brain, right? So and words to me, I mean, in general, in the universe, sound and words are spells. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when you're
Abracadabra.
exactly, so when you're speaking things over yourself, that's your truth. If you're saying, I am this, that is what you become. That is what the
Yeah,
universe has heard you and is like, okay, that's what she is. Like, that's what
that's
she
right.
identifies as, right? So then you're going to manifest in your reality more circumstances that bring up that shadow self, more circumstances that bring up that having to embody that person that you say that you are, right? So when you shift that, and that's what I feel like self-care and meditation and things like this have done for me, is when you shift that mentality. Affirmations have done this for me as well. um and prayer really has done this for me a lot, is like
Mhm.
when you speak into existence what it is that you truly want, your real desires are, who you want to become, who you're trying to unveil underneath all the layers of shadow, because you're already there. The person that you want to become is a person that already exists inside of you. And that's what a
Yes,
lot of us, again, in that destination, that perfectionism, we already want to be there. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And so we think it's somewhere we're going, but really the whole time it's just about being introspective and sitting in your truth and your real essence, instead of bombarding yourself with all of the narratives that you've given yourself, that your family might have given you, that your friends might have friends, jealous bitches, might have given you, that, like, that society gives you. Because like we're talking about, society is constantly programming us to be something that is unworthy so that they can sell us something. That's
From the moment
literally
we're born, from the second we're born, we're like little baby sponges. And we
Mm-hmm.
just absorb the reality. We absorb the unhealed trauma from our parents and their parents and their parents and their parents. And we take it all on, and we become these young adults and then older adults, not realizing that the person that we're living as is not at all what we would have created ourselves to be. But we have a really hard time, right? Realizing that. And what you just said about how we are trying to run after what we want to become, when in reality, it's already right here. And so instead of running to, it's actually about slowing down and being with yourself, which is where you find your true self. It's truly right here. But if you're always going, you're running away from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's so hard for people to do that, mainly because we've had no training in learning how to slow down.
And
Firstly,
everything around us is telling us the opposite.
that's right.
You know?
There's a
Everything
lot of
around
money
us
to
is
be
telling
made.
us to look outside of ourselves for a solution.
Go buy this, go do this, buy this purse, buy this shirt, because it's going to make you happy. And then
Mm-hmm.
you see these marketing ads, these which are spending tons of money, right? Talk about social media as well, right? Like the people who are creating all this infrastructure are hiring neurologists to know what's going to grab our attention at all times, right? And so we actually have to peel ourselves back from it to learn how to slow down. But here's the other issue. Not only are we trained to move fast and buy stuff and do more, but also when we do slow down, all the feelings that we never let ourselves feel from a really young age, whoosh. And so then we go, whoop, let me grab my phone, or whoop, let me grab a cigarette, or whoop, let me get something to eat, or whoop, let me go look at some porn, right?
Period.
Or let me go work out. Even that shit can become an addiction, right?
Smoke
Because
weed.
we don't want to, or smoke weed,
That
right?
was my number for sure. That is, I'm still grappling with it, but definitely my numbing agent. Definitely.
Yeah. And I
When I
appreciate,
use it in an abusive way. Of course,
right.
I think marijuana is a beautiful herb that can be used for beautiful connection with so many different things. It's definitely what opened my mind up to being more present with my spiritual self. Like when I started smoking, that definitely was something for me that really worked for me in that
Yeah.
regard. It opened my mind up into whole new places. But
Same.
it became a crutch for me. It became a numbing agent for me throughout my use of it, to the point where it literally had to physically harm me in order for me to come to a realization that it wasn't something that I could be doing and abusing like that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that, I'm grappling with even to this day. I'm still working on it.
Mama, say hi. Say
That's
hi.
you.
Say hi, say hi, say hi. Okay, get down.
I know.
They're like, it's time for dinner. The sun's going down. It's time for dinner.
No,
You can
same.
chill.
Oh my god, my dog is so upset at me right now.
Yo, I'm so with you. These things can either be used as a way to check in or check out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And food is beautiful, but it can be used as consciously. As you said, we can say a prayer. We can have some gratitude for the earth that grew our food and for all the hands that it took and the work that it took to get it to our plate, and gratitude for the work that we have that allowed us to pay for the food, so that and gratitude for the body that knows how to digest the food. Or food could be used as a numbing device. And all we're ever whether it's food, sex, weed, smoking, whatever, drinking, these are all what we call
Drinking. The
medicators.
society drinks. We are
This
self
society drinks.
medicators.
Yeah. And what we're medicating is we feel the pain that we never let ourselves feel, mainly because every single one of us, unless you had enlightened masters for parents, I've never met anybody who does, but our parents were stressed, or they had money issues, or they had issues in their relationship, or they themselves had unhealed trauma, or there was stuff going on culturally that didn't allow them to be self-expressed, and they were dealing with immense amount of stress. And then we were these young babies who felt a wide range of emotion, and when we were happy and goo goo and gaga and everything was cool, they were like, yay, come
You're
here.
so cute.
But the moment we cried out, if our parents were at like a 9 at stress level, and then we had a need and we were upset or afraid or whatever, and we cried
What we were
out,
supposed to say with like negative.
negative emotion, which is such fucking bullshit. It's all emotion and it's all beautiful. But
And it's
when
all
we were young
temporary.
babies, yeah,
It's all temporary
energy
and
in
it's
motion.
indicating something.
That's right. And so when we expressed that, quote, negative emotion as young children, if our parents were already stressed, it's all good.
I'm
I
so
love my
sorry.
dogs.
She's
Don't
out.
worry about it. This is part of it. If you had been here earlier, you would have heard my chickens.
You got chickens?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love chickens.
Chickens, dogs, and bees, girl. We have a little farm over here.
How cute. I love
Yeah,
that.
it's sweet. It's sweet. So, anyways, we're young children. If our parents were experiencing stress, which all of them were, 100% hands down,
I mean, if
they
you
were.
live in America, you're stressed out.
That's right. That's right. And if you live on the planet, we're all human. We're experiencing stress all the time. That's part of being a human
You're
being,
so right. You're 100%.
right? Yeah, especially in this culture. Especially in this culture. But so if you're a young little baby and you cry out because of with this quote negative emotion, and your parents are already at a 9 of their stress level, and then your cry adds to their stress, what are they going to do? They're going to look for a way to get you to be quiet. And so they say to you, shh, 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 or stop crying, or they yell. And at a really young age, we learn, ooh, my life depends on that person, on that primary parent or primary parents, primary caretaker. I cannot survive without them. I can't walk, I can't run, I can't feed myself. My life depends on them being okay. And I see that when I cry out with a need, that it makes them not okay. And so I learn, whoop, okay, I need to push this down. I need to push this down. And we become adults who have a lifetime of pain, fear, doubt, resentment, jealousy, all natural human experiences that are just lodged in our system. And then the minute we slow down, the minute we sit for a meditation or we go get into a bathtub or we lay down to go to sleep at night, all of that stuff just comes rushing up and overwhelms our system. And then if we don't have the tools to deal with it, if we don't have the tools to sit, we're going to medicate.
Period.
We're going to distract.
Yeah, 100%. So you want to talk to them about this sanctuary challenge that you put together?
Yeah, girl.
Yeah, just let the people know what's up. What's your brainchild looking like?
This is our logo.
Cute.
The sanctuary challenge is if only I had the hair to toss. You can toss it for me. If only so the sanctuary challenge is free. Firstly, I believe self-care is always free. That what we've talked about, there's always people marketing for us to buy stuff to take care of ourselves, which can create this belief that I have to buy stuff in order to take care for myself. And the truth is, self-care is free. I just need me and a little bit of space and the tools. So that's what I'm trying to provide people, is tools to learn the practices and then communities for accountability. And we'll get into that after that. So the Sanctuary Challenge is a 60-day commitment to 5 daily self-care practices. Now, I know that people are hearing 60 days and 5 commitments, and it's like,
what?
How the hell? Yeah.
I can't even get out of bed sometimes.
That's right. Welcome to being a fucking human being, right? And so what I'm suggesting is this is like the prescription. Everyone listening to this is an adult who can take from that and go, 5 daily commitments is too much for me. I'm going to start with 1 or 2. I'm going to try it on for a week, and then maybe next week I will add a second. Or 60 days is way too much for me. I'm going to start with 1 day, and then I'll see about a second day, right? I just want to give you the tools. And one would think that our goal with the Sanctuary Challenge would be to get, you mentioned that accountability tracker that people can download on the website. One would think that the goal would be to check off every single practice for 60 days. That is not my goal for people. My goal is that 1 day in the 60 days, you check off every box. That to me is the big win. Yeah. And so the 5 daily practices are a guided morning meditation that we created for people, which is beautiful, downloadable on the website.
So good. I've been doing it every morning. So good.
How beautiful is that cello?
It's so beautiful. And also like the mantra that you propose, like the I am here, that helps me so much. Like even if I'm not specifically listening to your meditation, like just hearing that in my mind, and every time that my mind begins to wander, just repeating to myself, I am here, I am here, I'm here, I'm in this moment right now, I am here. You know, like that, it really
Yes.
does bring me back to center,
Yes.
and really helps me kind of work through the mechanical mind that just, yo, that bitch doesn't shut up.
That's right. That's right. Which is why we got a counterbalancer,
Uh-huh.
right? We actually, I think I mentioned to you, we're writing a song with, did I tell you about this? With Leanne Rhymes and my
Oh,
friend
yes.
Connie, whose artist name is Milk. And the song, the chorus goes, what is here is always changing, but I am here, I am here, I am here still. I am still, I am still, I am still here. And
Beautiful.
that's the whole theme of this song that I want you and I to write a song too for this
Oh,
thing.
yeah, we gotta write a song for sure.
Yeah, we got to do it.
For
So,
sure.
morning guided meditation, 30 minutes of exercise, whatever that means, putting on a Jauregui song and dancing around your house and just like getting funky, or going for a run or doing your yoga or whatever, 30 minutes of exercise. Healthy eating and water drinking, which to me just means eating more food that comes from the earth. The earth is intelligent. It puts that intelligence into our food, and then we can eat it. Less processed foods, more foods that come from the earth.
Yes. Yes.
4 is my,
Plant-based energy.
yeah, it's like we're given it. It's right here. It's just like being given to us. And then for whatever reason, human beings like process it and kill it. And it's like, just eat the food that comes from the earth and
Yeah.
you're going to
Good
feel
enough
good.
at heart. They gave us seeds with crazy intelligence in them, and they make trees.
Simple.
It's so
Simple.
simple.
Yeah. So the 4th is what I call goddess time. Whether you are male, female, it does not matter. Your gender does not matter. Goddess time is an opportunity at the end of our work day, or our mom day, or our dad day, or our looking for work day, our writing day, our sessions day, to recognize that all day long I've been accumulating stress. And what we typically do is we take the stress of the day, we bring it into the evening, we bring it into the bed, and then we take it into tomorrow. And then suddenly we're alive for several decades, and we have several decades of stress that's living inside of our body. And we wonder why we're so anxious all the time.
Or
It's because
sick.
no one, or sick. That's a big one.
Or sick, because disease comes from dis-ease.
Yes. You know, A Course in Miracles says that sickness is caused by a stress that we put on the body that the body was never meant to handle.
Facts. Whether that
And
comes from this lifetime or past.
that's right. That's right. And that I believe that the biggest stress we put on our body comes from, ready for this, the belief that we are the body. That's the biggest stress we put on the body, is forgetting that we are actually the intelligence that inhabits this body and gets to use this beautiful body as a tool, as a vehicle for learning, but that we are not the body. We are so much more powerful than just our physical musculature.
The body is a vehicle. That's
That's right.
why it's like this world of illusion that we live in really convinces us that our body is everything, right?
Yeah.
So I've personally struggled majorly with body image issues, like my whole entire life. Like ever since I got called fat by a kid I liked in 5th grade, like that shit fucked me up for life. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like understanding to love my body is so much more than looking good in a fucking bikini. Like understanding that if I have a functioning, able body that is carrying out its natural processes and keeping me alive, like that is the blessing, and that is what my body's for. My body is a vehicle through which my soul travels.
That's right.
Being healthy doesn't necessarily mean it looks hot to a general public. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
It'll be on Sports Illustrated, or it'll be on, you know what I mean? Like all these diet shits that we see everywhere. Or even better, there's so many people that have such intense body dysmorphia because all they're seeing all day long are edited, face-tuned,
That's right.
photoshopped pictures of people.
That's
The
right.
people whose body you look at and admire, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them don't even look like that in real life.
And if they do look like that, they look like that for 1 week during the photo shoot.
Or from a certain angle. You know
And
what
they
I'm
didn't
saying?
eat all week.
You know, and so it's like there's so many unhealthy fads and unhealthy approaches to what it means to have a body, what it means to love our body. Because I had a really tough time with this. To this day,
Yeah.
I have a tough time with this. I'm not even gonna lie. Is like I wake myself up every morning, and if I'm looking in the mirror subconsciously, I will pick myself apart. Like I will pick myself apart, and it's not even conscious. It's legitimately not even conscious. I have to interrupt those thoughts and be like, "Yo, you're
Yo.
standing.
Yeah.
You are standing. You are
Yeah.
able to walk.
Miracle.
You are breathing.
Yes.
You can see. You can
Yeah.
hear. You can taste whatever it is that you're about to taste. You can smell. You can move. You can flow. You can
You
dance.
can sing.
Even if you're not the best dancer in the world, you can
That's
do it
right.
if you want, you know?
That's right.
And that is the blessing. Having
Yes.
a functioning body. And that's not to say that's not to be ableist in any way, because there are plenty of beautiful bodies that do not function exactly like all of our able bodies.
Amen.
And
Amen.
guess what? Your body's still carrying your soul, and your body is still working with you, or you're working with it to you know, be alive and present in this world. And that is the beauty, is the fact that you have a seat for your soul in this realm that is
Yes.
carrying you through life. That is what body positivity needs to be about, man. Because it's
That's
not
right.
about the shape that you are. It's not about, you know, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really isn't. It's about having a vehicle for you that you're able to, you know, navigate this world in. That's literally all it is about.
That's right. It's about realizing that your body is a miraculous blessing. It is the most miraculous thing that could exist. Trillions of cells all working together in perfect concert to allow you to do everything you just said and to allow you to witness and take in this unbelievable natural world, and also to be able to take in the miracle of another person. It's
Mm-hmm.
such a gift, and it's so small but powerful. The
Powerful
way
shit.
that ego brain says, you're ugly, you're fat, you don't look like this, they're not going to love you. And again, that comes from our early childhood trauma, where we learned that we are not deserving of love and belonging exactly as we are. And we learned that we have to shape ourselves, literally shape ourselves into a certain kind of thing in order to be deserving of love, respect, intimacy, admiration, and success. And it's fucking bullshit. You are
Period.
deserving of love because you exist. You are special because you exist. You are a gift because you are breathing. You are alive. And this grace of God has bestowed us with the gift of being alive. And that little voice in our head that just starts picking at us, thank God, Lauren, you have the grace, and that you've given yourself the practice to notice it when it's doing its thing,
Mm-hmm.
and to go, nuh-uh,
Yeah,
not today.
I interrupt those thoughts now. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's so ingrained. I'm a fucking I'm in the public eye. You know what I'm saying? There's people commenting on my body all day long. There's people commenting about how I look all day long. And I remember growing up, I would see tabloids with women's pictures slathered on them. And it would be like, this body's good, this body's not. And all of these pictures would be taken of these women, first of all, without their consent. And second
Mm-hmm.
of all, from an incredibly like unflattering angle, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like these photos are not done by professional photographers. They're done by stalkers,
Yep.
voyeurs, which
Yep.
are called paparazzi.
Yep.
And literally, for me as a little girl who wasn't in the public eye yet, I would see those pictures and I would be like, fuck, I can never look like that.
Mm-hmm.
I never want to be caught looking like that, right?
Oof.
Because that's what those things teach you. They teach you that a normal body having fun at the beach is disgusting. That
Yep.
someone rated it a 10% or a 2%. Or they said hot or not and it was a not. You know what I'm saying? Is those comparative, especially for women or femme-bodied individuals, like, you know, like it ingrains in you. That shit ingrains it in you from a
Yep.
tiny tot. You're already thinking like people are already commenting on your body when you're
Yep.
an adolescent. When you start going through puberty, you're still 13 years old and you have older men commenting about your body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That shit really causes, or even women commenting about your body, you know, like I remember growing up on Facebook, they had, you know, hottest bodies, and like they would put all the girls who had the best bodies, and they would, you know, the best hair and the best this and the best that, all these like, let me rate people's attractiveness according to European white supremacist standards.
Thank
You know
you.
what I'm saying? And it's just like, there's just no, and even a lot of Europeans don't even meet the fucking European standard. You know what I'm saying? It's idyllic and it's not even realistic. So it's just, all of those things aren't real. They're
Yeah.
things that are given to us that we buy into bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen. And to the women, like, I can't even relate to the amount of body shaming. And as a gay male, there was a thing that happened in gay culture, especially when the
Wow.
AIDS epidemic hit.
Real shit.
Well, and I never understood this until I started kind of looking at it. When the AIDS epidemic hit, there was this belief, because no one was helping the gay community with trying to survive HIV/AIDS. And so there was this idea that if you could, because they were losing weight so fast, so there was this idea if you could build muscle, that you would kind of live a healthier life.
Wow.
And then I grew up in this gay world where every image of men, whether I was a young 13-year-old closeted homosexual that only found the opportunity to feel intimacy when I was looking at porn, and I was looking at these men who were objectified for their abs and their chest and their biceps and their legs and the big muscles, and it developed a belief within me that I have to look that way in order to be loved. And I already felt like I'm not allowed to be loved because I'm gay, right? And I'm ostracized and I'm different and no one's going to love and accept me. And it's such a travesty that we grow up in that culture, which is why it's even more important that you and I are having the conversation that we're having today, to say to every single one of you who are listening to this right now, you are fucking perfect. You are beautiful exactly as you are. Not losing 1 pound is going to make you more lovable. None of it. The person that needs you to look a certain way in order to love you is not your person. The person who's going to love you for who you are and recognize them. Yeah.
That is the real shit.
That's not your person.
If anybody's telling you that you need to look a certain way or be a certain way in order for them to love you, that's not.
Bye. Bye.
That's not your person.
Thank you. Bye. Because you know what they're saying? What they're saying is, I'm so insecure about myself that I need you to look a certain way because you represent a part of me, and I'm so insecure that if you don't look perfect, then I don't believe that I'm deserving of love and respect in my community. It's such manipulation, and it's so deeply.
I think that happens with parents too.
It's so important that we all wake up.
Yeah, I think that also happens like with parents.
Oh my God.
Like who you're supposed to be onto you, you know? Like never letting you make your own decision about your own life because you're essentially an extension of their parenting. You know
That's right.
So it's so ego based. A lot of the ways that people project all of these things that we're talking about are projections.
That's right.
An illusion of a world that again tells you these things to sell you things, to continue to commodify your existence. That is the only reason that all of these standards exist. That's the only reason racism exists. That's the only reason.
Say it again. Say it again.
Yeah, the reason that all of these different things exist, like again, like homophobia, racism, all of these things, it's so that we can sell you things.
It's an economic system. That's right. That's right. Racism is an economic caste system. For anybody who doesn't understand this concept yet, Isabel Wilkinson wrote a beautiful book called Caste, C-A-S-T-E, where she looked at the caste system in India, the caste system that created Nazi Germany and the Holocaust, and the caste system that created slavery and racism against Black people here in the United States of America. And I highly recommend this book. It's called Caste, C-A-S-T-E. We've been taught to believe that racism is about some kind of feelings that we have against other people. But racism was born as a caste system in order to build the economy here in the United States, in order to build the roads, the farms, the buildings. If we could get free labor, that's right.
Free labor out of it.
And the only way they could do that was by saying those people are not human. And that is still in the psychology of our country. And until reparations are made, that's right.
immigrants now. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
It's like
And it's still how we treat Black people in this country.
100%, 100%. Brown and Black people
Brown and Black
experience this
people.
on a daily basis because, again, it's a caste system that is supposed to make white people think that they're superior to something in order to maintain the fact that they deserve a better income, a higher income, or to justify their generational wealth that they don't share. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And
Or
also,
that they deserve to reap the benefits of the service of the Black and brown people that are working behind the wall in the kitchen at the restaurant, where you see the majority of workers that are in the front of house are majority white. They're the ones who are making tips. The people who are serving, and I'm not saying it's an easy job, it's a thankless job and it's a hard job to serve. The majority of them are white. The majority of them are working 4 to 6 hour shifts, when meanwhile, the brown and Black people in the back of the house are working 12-hour shifts and making a quarter of what the people in the front of the house are making.
it also keeps like poor white folks in the working class in this delusional state where they blame Black and brown people or immigrants for their lack of economic opportunity.
That's right.
When in reality, capitalism and this trickle down economics nonsense is what keeps us in that state, because higher ups will fire workforce to make more money.
Do you know
or
something,
they'll
Lauren?
hire people who don't have papers, or they'll hire
That's right.
people because then they can exploit those people and not pay them sometimes, or pay them so below the minimum wage it's literally criminal.
The man, I learned this recently from Marianne Williamson, who I know you know as well, that and I cannot remember the gentleman's name who proposed the theory of trickle-down economics. When he proposed that theory, he said, and if we do this thing where we deregulate these companies so that they can do what they want, if we do this trickle-down economics, then of course we're going to have to apply and give a universal basic income to every single person in the United States of America. And when it went through Congress, guess what part they took out?
The universal income.
That's right.
Because if we don't have inequality, they don't keep making money.
That's right. That's right. The very few at the top. So this is why this conversation, people may be like, well, how are these two conversations related? The way that the power and they're perfectly intersected, because the ways that the powers that be continue to thrive is by putting their boots on the necks of people who have been so traumatized for generations. And the way that the traumatized generations, Black and brown generations, communities, indigenous communities, LGBT communities are going to rise up is by healing their intergenerational trauma and remembering who they are, remembering that they are a gift, remembering that no person is better than them or more special than them, so that they can take care of themselves and that they can walk into the door, and every room they walk into, instead of believing, should I be here? I don't know if I should be here. Do I belong here? They walk into every room once they're healed saying, I am here and God sent me here and I am here for a reason. And now that I'm here, I'm opening this door to everyone else behind me who wasn't allowed in this room beforehand. And so our mental health and developing our mental health as an individual is directly related to the economic, to our freedom. That's it.
It's directly, and I've been saying this, y'all who follow me and know me, you know that the thing that I always repeat to you is learn to love yourself.
Amen.
Figure out that relationship with yourself, because that is, I'm just such a firm believer that is the key to unlocking this next reality that I know we're going into, where it's a reality of self-actualization and community, where we care about each other, where we do not dispose of each other, where we do not dismiss each other and our mental health struggles that we have in a society that is so fucking far gone on the like we literally live to serve the higher ups. Like every single decision that's made that you think is of free will, it is not. Everything is orchestrated so that you make the 1% more money. That's it. And they have it's inexhaustible because it's never enough. You know, we have Jeff Bezos now, who's a trillionaire. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck needs to be a trillionaire? Who the fuck needs to be a trillionaire? Nobody needs to be a trillionaire.
That's right.
You know, people like to talk about, oh, he worked really hard. Great. You still don't need that money. You still
Especially
don't
if you're not going to pay your workers COVID risk pay and healthcare and all the things, like, and no federal taxes. Okay, so
Listen,
like,
it's just if you guys don't see the scam, it's a scam.
yeah,
So it's just a
that's
scam.
right.
And the point of the scam, like the thing that drives the scam or keeps the scam alive, is us hating ourselves and believing that we are unworthy. That is what perpetuates the scam. It's like this that we got blinders on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like we're out here thinking that it's us that's the issue. It's us that doesn't work hard enough. It's us that needs to work harder to get to
Shame,
certain
shame,
points.
shame.
Shame,
It's
shame,
shame.
shame, 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 and they ingrained it into our parents so hard, and you know, generations before that didn't have access to the internet even. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the internet has really sparked a wave of connection that was never possible. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? And you know, most people, humans, got their information in mass from these elites that ran things, right?
That's right.
Especially since the Industrial Revolution began. And so you have these very few people up top literally creating narratives to cause panic or to mimic or to mock safety. You know what I'm saying? Or like convince you that doing this will make you safer or doing this will endanger you, so that they can empower the state and they can make their pockets grow.
That's right.
That's all that they care about. They do not care about human life. Actually, that's why they in the same breath that they say that they're pro-life, they also are pro-death penalty.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Is because the more heads that they have, the more dollar signs they see.
That's right.
That's why they're anti-abortion. You know
Yeah,
what
right.
I'm saying?
Pro-life, but pro-private industrialized prisons.
Or
Taking life
pro-war.
for free labor,
Or
pro-war. That's
pro-war.
right.
They don't.
That's right.
They have no problem with us bombing X amount of Arab countries.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? They have
Yeah.
no problem with like they hate refugees. You know, and
And
detest.
all because the biggest money maker for private industry in this country is military, right? So we spend approximately $800 billion annually
Of our tax dollars,
of,
of our money.
right. Let's remember that. Who's paying for that shit? We are. So they spend about $800 billion annually on the military, when I think it was, what's his name? I can't remember. This Harvard economist said $100 billion.
Is it Richard?
Oh, no, I love him. I
Robert.
love him. Robert.
Robert.
Somebody else, Jeffrey Sachs, maybe? I can't remember. Said he
Some
did
Harvard
this.
dude.
He said that $100 billion spent over 10 years could eradicate poverty from the face of the planet. $100 billion spent over 10 years methodically could eradicate poverty from the planet. We spend 8 times that much to fight wars that we don't need to be in.
Proxy wars for oil.
Yeah. So the way that we end this shenanigan is by becoming a connected constituency of people who wake up to recognize again our own power, to recognize that we matter, to recognize that they have no power unless we give it to them, and then connect with each other. And the thing is, in this day and age where there's so much divisiveness, is we have to slow down to recognize we are so much more the same than we are different. Right? And it's when we slow down enough to learn to listen to each other, to have compassion for each other, as you said before, to stop denying each other and start accepting each other and start becoming the people for others that we need for ourselves, then we have the opportunity to create a world that we really want to live in.
Right.
And that starts with you and me learning to slow down.
And showing up for ourselves.
And nurturing ourselves.
Yeah,
That's
because
right.
it's just a fact that if you don't love yourself, if you don't take the time to take care of yourself, if you don't have any concept of who you are and what you need, then how the hell are you going to meet anybody else's needs?
That's right.
It's just you're projecting your ego.
That's right.
by
Well,
trying
and
to control someone else and
you want
trying
to
to
hear,
be there for someone else and do all this beautiful stuff for someone else. If you're not showing up for yourself, you're literally projecting your ego. I used to do that so much,
yeah,
where I thought I was being somebody's savior, and I invested so much of myself into saving somebody, quote unquote, when really all I was doing was telling them they had to be a certain way in order for me to love them. And that's not real love.
yeah. You
And
know
I hear
what
a lot
that,
of people doing that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. And where I'm aware that that came from within me and where it comes from within most people is, as I was talking about earlier about that early childhood stuff,
Mm-hmm.
is that a lot of us had parents who weren't able to meet our emotional needs and nurture us. And when we were really, really, really young, if we noticed that mom wasn't doing so good, again, because of whatever was going on in her world or their world, if we notice, for example, that mom's not doing so good, remember, my livelihood, my survivability as a young baby is completely reliant on my primary parents. So I cannot survive without them. They're my lifeline. Literally, without them, I die. And if they're not doing well, I might die. And so we realize it's my job to take care of them. I have to take care of them in order to survive. And therefore, I start doing all the, like, as I mentioned before, the goo goo and the gaga and like trying to make sure that they're okay. And what I learned from a very young age is that it's my job to make other people be okay so that then I can be okay. And then
Mm.
I prioritize everybody above myself. I hide away my own needs. I literally abandon my own needs in order to meet the needs of another. So I say yes to all these people about shit I don't really want to do or
Period.
relationships that I know aren't really serving me because then I feel safe. And so we have to rebuild this relationship with ourselves. We have to become the parent to ourselves that our parent wasn't able to be for us, not because they were bad or wrong, but because they were wounded. Right? So we have compassion for our parents.
Exactly. That's another thing. Today I was listening to I follow this dope person named Quantum Casey, and she's always just giving like downloads. And one of the things she was talking about today that I just really resonated with was that she was communicating with, you know, a higher dimensional being, or this is might go over some of your heads, but whatever. She was communicating with a higher dimensional being, and they were giving her downloads, and they were telling her about they're a completely neutral species, right? So they're just completely neutral when when an emotion is sparked in them, they experience it and then it leaves them. You know what I'm saying? And so in their reality, the way that we view good and bad doesn't exist.
Right.
You know, everything is just temporary and an indicator of something that's going on, right? So there is no good or bad. Everything that exists comes from the same source of love. So people that you think are evil and people that you think are terrible and people like, and granted, there's a lot of people that I think are like, whoa, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean? And those people, it's not because they are inherently made of other stuff than you are. It's that they've gotten so far distanced from their true nature and been like hijacked essentially by all of the programs that are running in this planet that they forgot who they really are. They
Yeah.
forgot where they really come from, which is where we all come from, which is from source, God,
Love.
whatever you call it, you know, love. It is love. It is constant, just deliciousness and light. That is what we're supposed to be. That's what this realm can represent.
Yes.
But when you distance yourself from your truth, y te alejas tanto, and you just go so far away from who you really are, eventually you're training your mind and your body to stay in that state and to
That's
stay in
right.
that where you lose any connection with your real self.
That's
And
right.
these people that we see like Trump, these people that we see like Mitch McConnell, who I look at and I'm like, you're fucking heartless, bro. Like you're literally heartless. Who the
Yeah.
like? How are
How
you
do you
alive
live?
on this planet? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's that they were so denied the ability to express love that they're
And to
just so
feel love.
far away from that feeling. They don't
That's right.
understand it. They are
That's right.
so far away from, they don't love themselves. They
That's
don't
right.
know who they are.
That's right.
Everything that they are is inflated nothingness. You know what I'm saying? Grandiosity, narcissistic energy, all of those things. Like they're all symptoms of not knowing yourself.
That's it.
And that's where we got to get to, is like, stop judging ourselves for being good or bad. That was a huge thing for me. I hated the idea that someone thought I was bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I compromised my health, my energy, my mental health, my sanity, so many things, just to look good for people, so that other people could see me and be like, oh, she's a good girl.
Right.
Oh, she's a good person. Oh, she's not a whore. Oh, she's not a slut. Oh, she's not, you know, a mean. Oh, she's not, you know, selfish, or she's not whatever it is that I didn't want to be associated with, because I thought they were bad things, you know?
Yeah.
But then I realized people are always gonna talk shit, because people are always projecting their own insecurities onto light, onto people who embody their light, because they wish they could. They wish they could embody themselves as wholly and fully as you do. And I've always embodied my light since I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until people started telling me you're this and you're that and you're this and you're that, that I really lost myself.
Yeah.
I lost myself completely, because I was like, shit, they must fucking be right.
That's
I have
right.
so many people telling me that I'm this horrible thing or person, then they must be the ones that are right. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. So when you get back to yourself and you stop regarding whatever it is that you do in life as good or bad, that's when you can find your truth, because you're not preoccupied with how you're perceived. You are very in touch with your true essence, and you know who you are. You know what your intentions are, and you know what your intentions were. And granted, again, we've all been programmed since birth to be shitty to ourselves and to each other. That's what keeps these people making money. So yes, every single person on the planet that we're living on has made a mistake. Yes, every single person on the planet we're on has at one point been racist, or been this, or been that, or whatever, because it's what we were taught. It's not what we are, it's what we were taught. And so when we don't give people the space to evolve past these negative qualities, that's when we run into trouble. Because if someone doesn't feel like they can evolve past who they were, they're going to stay who they were. They're going to stay in that energy. They're going to stay around people who validate their shittiness. You know what I'm saying? And they're never going to, they don't feel embraced by light. They don't feel embraced by the concept of they can be better, and they can grow past who they were. You know what I'm saying? I think all of us love, in like these superhero movies or whatever, when the villain has a moment of clarity and it's like, oh my God, I've been a bad person.
They wake up.
They wake up. They come back to themselves. They come back to their essence, their actual essence of being, which is a being of light. We are here having a human experience, and we are not of this material world. We live in a material world to teach our souls some lessons.
But we're not from here.
But we're not from here.
Yeah.
You got to get real well acquainted with that. That's why all these religions exist, and that's why all of these thought schools exist and philosophies exist, because we have understood since the beginning of our existence that we are not of this realm.
That's right.
We are here to serve something bigger than ourselves. And in that, to me, is collective consciousness, collective raising of our vibration. That's the most important. That's your only mission, is for you to raise your own vibration. And you raising your own vibration, your energy is at a frequency that can no longer be deterred or affected by a lower vibration.
That's right.
So therefore, other lower vibrational frequencies either have to rise to meet you in order to interact, or they fall away from your life and you don't have to interact with them anymore.
That's right.
And that is the ripple effect that is going to get us to a higher state of consciousness that will make this world a healthier, less insufferable place for everyone.
More loving place. That's right. Oh, I could listen to you. I could listen to you all day. You are so tapped in. You're fully channeling. You are so speaking truth to power. And thank God that you are using your platform in this way, because we need you. And there's no more important conversation that we could be having right now about, you know, one thing I just heard you say was, when you know yourself, you no longer need other people to tell you who you are.
Period.
When
and
you know yourself.
Random motherfuckers telling you some crazy
because
shit.
what you realize is their opinions are coming from their perspective, which is informed by their trauma, the way they were raised. And it's literally that thing when we were kids, I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you
Oh
say
my
bounces off of
God.
me and sticks back to you. That's
Mm,
the truth. I wish we could remember that as adults. But if we're not sitting in the seat of our soul, we're always looking for somebody else to tell us who we are. So we
mm.
have to slow down and we have to check in and we have to nurture ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves so that we can know who we are. And when we know who we are, we can live who we are. And that's the miracle of being alive, you know?
Being alive, man.
That's
That's why
right.
I love to bring it back to the core of this conversation, the sanctuary challenge that Ryan's created. I'm participating in it. I kind of like have done like a trial week, and this week I've really been, I committed to myself. I said, okay, Lauren, I'm in this chaotic energy that comes in and out all the time. You know what I mean? Some days I'm really good, and some days I'm really fucked up. Like there's just no in between for me, right? And so my intention was really to cultivate more balance in my life, right? And then Ryan randomly hit me up and was like, hey, I'm doing this, sanctuary challenge and it's about this. And I was like, whoa, timing, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So essentially it's accessible. It is free. You don't have to do any extra shit. You don't have to buy any extra shit. You don't have to go out of your way to spend your life savings to reach enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? It's all about going in to yourself and being conscious of the choices that you're making throughout your day, right? So putting aside 20 minutes to do a meditation. You think 20 minutes is a lot of time, right? But then you're on your motherfucking phone scrolling through Instagram for like
Hey,
6 hours of your day.
that's right.
Check, go ahead and check your readings. Check the little stats that they give you
That's
about
right.
how long you've been on your phone.
That's
Okay?
right.
You can pull up a meditation that's on your phone.
Yep.
And literally set aside 20 minutes, and that's you time. That's time for you to connect to your essence, to your higher self, and to connect to God and your masters, your angels that are around you, because you have a whole spirit team. A lot of people don't tell you this shit, but you have an entire spiritual team working for you and only you, protecting you. But you have to ask them for they need your
Preach
permission
it. They
to
will
come to
not
your help.
violate your free will. The
They will not
universe will
violate your
not
free will.
violate your free will. The universe doesn't need from us our intelligence, our talent, doesn't need all it needs from us is our willingness. All we
Our
have to do is
permission.
say, I am willing, I am willing, I am willing to have you join me. One of my favorite prayers when I'm stuck, when I'm spinning, when I'm anxious, I say, Dear God, I invite you into my mind to see this situation through my eyes and to heal my thinking from fear to love.
Ooh,
Because if I'm having a problem and I want somebody to do something or I want something to change out there, I recognize that the miracle is in having my thinking change about the situation, right?
yes.
And so what you're talking about is like giving yourself the time to, the 5 commitments, I don't know if I said them, are morning meditation, exercise, healthy eating, goddess time, which is at the end of your workday, getting in a bathtub if you have a bath. I don't have a bath, so I just put my feet up a wall for 20 minutes. I disconnect from my technology, and then trying to get 8 hours of sleep. And
That's
so
that's the kicker. I've been
that's
telling
hard.
you, like when I do my check-ins with the community, I've been doing like check-ins here and there, and one of the things that I've really struggled with is actually getting 8 hours of sleep. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Is like, my mind will be going, but I'm getting better at it every day that I try. And for me, what's helped me a lot is putting together like a little night routine,
Good.
something that I do. Like, like instead of watching TV until I pass out on my couch and then, crawling to bed, like which is a lot of stimulation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I turn off the TV, and I go into my bed and I read until I
Yeah.
drowsily fall into sleep. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That for me helps me a lot.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's
And I
huge.
luckily have a bathtub, so I've been taking baths.
Good girl.
And
That's
it's
what's
just
up.
fun. It's so nice to take a bath or to take
Yep.
a shower and allow that water to just like cleanse you and
That's right.
really ask again your spirit team to just cleanse you of the stress of the day, cleanse you of the energy of the day, so that you can set your intention for the next day. You know what I'm saying? Also, what's helped me a lot is making like a list before I go to sleep of like things that I would like to accomplish the next day. Like
Mm.
I put all of the things that I wish I could accomplish, but I tell myself, if you accomplish one of these things, you did
You're
something.
winning. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it was just like my first thing every time is wake up with gratitude, right? So even
Mm.
if that's the
You
only
know
thing
you're
that
gonna
I
get
did
that
that
done.
day, exactly. If that's
You
the only thing
achieved.
I did today, I still did something for my bienestar, for my
That's
good, my highest good.
huge. See, and you mentioned something just before about the accountability crew piece, which I'd love to share because I think really often we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be accountable, but we're missing out this big piece, which is that's why we have each other. That's why we have community. We can actually create communities that support us, where we can support other people to be held accountable to the commitments that we're making. So one of the things, if y'all are interested, when you go to the website, it's just thesanctuarychallenge.com. When you go to the website, and you can read about the thing, and at the bottom you can click take the challenge, and you'll create a little login. And then once you're in the back end of the website, you'll find the habit tracker and the morning meditation and a PDF explaining everything. A bunch of stuff's in there. And then you can click at the top, you'll see a little menu, and one of the things says invite my crew. And you can right there put in your name and friend's email address. And we're inviting you to do the challenge with your friends, your loved ones, your coworkers, your siblings, whatever. You can put in their email address and click send invite, and it'll send them an email with the invitation to join the challenge. And you can do that as many times as you want to all your people to invite them to join. And what I'm hoping you all will do is gather your little crew, start a text message thread or a WhatsApp thread, and every morning after you finish your morning meditation, when you go to your phone, write in there, hey everyone, hey my loves, what's up accountability crew? Today I am committed to. And you say, I'm committed to my morning meditation, my goddess time, exercise, healthy eating, and getting 8 hours of sleep. And you say it out loud, because one of the things, especially as we head into the new year, when everyone's all about resolutions, we forget that when we make commitments to something, we have to recommit to it every day when we wake up. That's the only way we'll stay committed, is if we go, today's a new day and I have to commit again today. So that's a little bit about it. I'm going to put the little URL in here just if people need to see it. You can pin it, I think.
I can pin it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, send it through. And also, I'm feeling called to talk one more time about your spirit teams. Like it keeps coming up for me that I need to share like a little more detail about that. So essentially you are a being of light, right? So you are 100% a light being. You know, whatever other story you told yourself is a damn lie. You're a fucking light being. And in being a light being, you have a connection to a lot of different realms of power, right? So you have ultimate power is of course God, source, love, energy, the thing that creator, the thing that made us, right? The intelligence that came up with the cosmos we live in. And then you have angels and light beings that also work in communion with that. And then there are other beings all over the place. And you guys can get more into this on your own.
And ancestors and spirit animals.
Exactly. Your ancestors are the closest to you. They're your immediate,
guides.
People in your lineage. And by the way, you have what, good and bad ancestors, quote unquote. You have ancestors that are unhealed, that you are having to heal in this lifetime. I know I have a lot of them because of my white skin. And then you also have, ancestors that are guiding you and that are, here for your, they're in a higher realm, you know what I'm saying? So they're going to help you out. But both of those ancestors, both of those sides of ancestors are important to your development and your healing, your lineage in this lifetime. So you have your ancestors and you have spirit guides as well. Again, these are your teams. And mind you might have one here, one there, this one over here. You might not hear them directly. You have to get very in touch with yourself and your intuition and your guidance in order to really hear their messages. And their messages don't come as like me talking to you through this situation. They come as feelings. And these feelings that come up for you, anything that causes you to feel anxiety or fear is not your intuition, is not God. Anything that feels in your body, it feels like, this feels right. This feels like good. I feel warm when I think about this. I feel warm when I think about this outcome of something. That is your intuition guiding you towards that space. That is your team guiding you towards that space. And again, these beings cannot help you. Your ancestors cannot help you or be there for you
unless you're willing.
You ask for their help. Every day when you wake up, if there's nothing else you do, you say God and spirit, team, ancestors, you call out to them, however many you want, however many you connect with, right? You call them in and you say, thank you. I need your help today. I ask for you to guide my words, guide my thoughts, guide my actions so that I am operating at my highest self for the betterment of the civilization around me. You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying? And when you align yourself every morning with that energy, watch how your day unfolds.
My morning prayer every morning, Lauren, is, Dear Universe, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom?
And
Use
to
my hands and use my feet, use my heart and use my voice, that I may be a vessel for more love in this world today. Thank you. And I always finish it with thank you because it's like an affirmation. It's not me asking for something that might happen. It's like as soon as I say thank you, it's like the universe, life, God, spirit is right here, looking at me saying, yes, my child. Thank you for letting me in. Because the truth is that we think, well, I'll say it this way. We are not the water. We are the, what's the term? We're not the water, we're the faucet. Our bodies are a faucet through which the water flows. And our responsibility, why we take care of ourselves, it's like, Roto-Rooter? You know that Roto-Rooter?
I know. What's that?
It was a company that you could hire to come to your home and clear out your pipes.
Okay.
So we have to Roto-Rooter our pipes, right? We are a faucet and we get clumped. We have trauma, we have pain, we have stuckness, and it impacts the way that the flow of water of life is able or not able to move through us. And so every time we slow down, every time we pray, every time we meditate, every time we take that bath, it's like we're degunking the faucet so more of that water can flow through us. And guess who we really are? We actually, in a soul way, we are that water. And so more of our true self moves through this embodied self. And then we know who we are. And then we start experiencing more miracles. And then we bring people to us who also know who they are. And then we get to co-create together, much like you and I are doing on this live. Yeah.
You can manifest. We're literal little magicians, y'all. They really got us fucked up with what they think we are. They really do. I'm telling you right now, like, again, like he was just saying, like, we are the faucet through which the water runs, but we are of the water.
Yes.
We are of the water. We are made up of 4 elements. Our bodies are literally organic matter that are made up of these 4 elements that can all trace their source back to source.
Stardust.
Stardust. Literal stardust. The thing is that we're so magical, it's mind-boggling. And I think that that's why so many people run away from this truth, is because it's so opposite of what we've been told. We've been told we're nothing. We've been told we're worthless. We've been told if we don't look a certain way, we don't matter. If we act a certain way, we don't matter. If we, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that's that.
So many things that separate us from our water essence and make us the faucet. So we become a clunk of metal instead of flowing. You know what I'm saying?
That's not who we are.
That's not who we are.
That's that Marianne Williamson quote from Return to Love that says, "It is not our darkness that we most fear; it's our light." Right? We're not afraid of the darkness. We know the darkness. We're used to the darkness. We're afraid, or the ego is afraid of the light. The ego is afraid of us knowing who we really are, because when we know who we really are and we know who walks with us and we know the power of our thought and of our manifestation and of our love, then the ego has less and less and less power to control our littleness. And so the ego is afraid of light.
We're so scared of our own power. That was something that held me back so much for such a long time. I was so scared of my full potential because I was scared that my full potential wouldn't be enough. So I would make myself smaller so that I could justify it to myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I could be like, well, that didn't work out because I wasn't really showing up 100%. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I have more that I could give, but I didn't. So that's why. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't my fault that it happened. And I think that really was the shift in my mind when I stopped making that excuse for myself and stopped being like, and stop holding myself back. I realized that I was the gatekeeper of my potentiality.
That's
I was
right.
the only person who had control over whether I could or could not show up the way that I dreamed of being able to show up for myself and for others and
That's
for
right.
my art. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that switching that mentality and getting comfortable with that 100% isn't even 100%. It's an infinite. It's infinity. You are
Yeah.
never going to be 100% healed, 100% you, 100% whatever. It is you are constantly evolving, constantly changing, constantly growing towards something that is beyond this life. You know what I'm saying? We're all so scared of death because we think it's the end of our existence, but our existence begins at the end of this journey. It begins at the end of
Amen.
the journey, and it's decided by how we
Die before
navigate
you
our journey.
die.
Exactly.
Die
I
before you
definitely have
die.
had many deaths in this lifetime
That's
already.
right. Henry wanted to say hi now too. Say hi, babies.
Hi, baby.
Say hi, babies. I love you.
I
This is
love you too, man.
amazing. This
Beautiful.
is amazing. Um, I am so excited you're doing the challenge. I'm so excited I'm doing the challenge. I am here to support you, my love. You text me, you call me anytime. I appreciate you giving us this time to have this chat with your incredible people. And if people decide to do the challenge, maybe you and I have another chat like 2 weeks in where we just
Yeah.
check in with people, see if they have questions, what do they need. I'm here to help. Like this is my
Yeah.
my
Your soul path, your purpose.
my
It's your
thing.
purpose.
Yeah.
It's your
Yeah.
purpose, honey.
I just want to
Yeah.
see
You helped
millions
me
of
so
folks
much.
around the world slow down.
You helped wake me up so much when we had our first discussion. To myself, again, to the unconscious, subconscious programming that I was just allowing to just control me and control
Yeah.
my life. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
this disastrous, like self hatred that I had. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like anytime I made a mistake or did something that wasn't perfect, that wasn't all the way exactly what everybody expected of me, I would just destroy myself mentally, you know, and that just caused me so much unnecessary harm. You know, making space for yourself and understanding that that 100% you're trying to get to is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
And you're constantly evolving, and it takes baby steps. It takes
Yeah.
falling back a couple times and then having to jump back on. It takes having to go through those things to really discover who you truly are and
That's
get
right.
back to your essence and get back to your truth. And again, getting back to that essence and getting back to that truth is what's going to elevate us as a collective.
Amen, Bobo.
All right. That's a beautiful note to end on. Thank you so much, Ryan. I love talking to you, and
I love talking
people.
to you too. I know we could do this on the phone or on a live. This is great.
Absolutely.
I have so much love and care for you in my heart. I love witnessing the being that you are. You're such a gift. Thank you for giving me time to chat with your people about this. It means a lot. And go take a bath.
Right, bitch? I'm ready for my bath. I'm gonna do some yoga and then I'm gonna do a bath. And I'm gonna feed my dog because she's like, hello.
Hello. I need love. I need love. I need love. Give me love.
I need love, please.
Literally, both these dogs are both my dogs have been at my feet all night.
For those of you who joined in, first of all, thank you. I love you. Ryan, you can go if you want. I love you. I'm gonna talk to them. Mwah.
Bye, honey.
Bye, love. All right. Oh, what a beautiful conversation. What a beautiful human. Oh my God, I love him. All right. So for those of you babies that are still with me, first of all, thank you for your open-minded energy, for being here with me, for receiving what we're talking about, because I know it's a lot. That probably was a little overwhelming. But I just want to say thank you for showing up to this, for showing up for yourself. And for the Sanctuary Challenge link, I'm going to be posting it in my caption when I post this live. I am going to be saving this live. So if you want to send it to people, anybody that needs, I don't know, some light right now, if you're feeling like they're in a really dark place or they don't, you know, anybody, I feel like a lot of us are in a really dark place right now with everything going on. And it's kind of like this hopelessness energy that we're all navigating right now, of like understanding that our government doesn't give a fuck about us and understanding that we're going to have to figure it out for ourselves. So if there's anyone that you know that would really benefit from hearing this conversation, I really encourage you to send them this video. and tell them about the Sanctuary Challenge. I am going to be doing it. I've already started it, but it officially starts in January. And I'm going to put the link. So the link is super easy. It's just thesanctuarychallenge.com. So that's it. So I'm going to put it in the description as well as link it in my story. So you can, if you're that lazy that you can't just copy paste, or you can't just like read that and put it into your web browser, I'm gonna give you a swipe up because I got that ability. Okay. I hope that this sparked some of y'all to really understand your power. I'm understanding my power. It's a gradual process, and I thank you for making the space to grow with me, for accepting me through all of my phases and still being here with me. And as I evolve, for staying with me as I evolve. I have so much coming for you guys that I can't wait to give you artistically. But it's all been a part of my process. You know what I'm saying? Part of this undoing, part of this finding my true essence again and getting back to her. Like earlier today, I did an inner child meditation. And bitch, I cried the entire 20 minutes that I was meditating. The entire fucking 20 minutes that I was meditating. I was crying, like envision, because this woman was guiding me through this visualization of like walking down a beach and seeing this little girl, you know, building a sandcastle in the distance. And the second I saw her in my mind, my heart just was overwhelmed with emotion because I thought of all the times that I've abandoned her. And I know that I would never abandon a child in this life. You know what I'm saying? If I saw a child who needed me, I would be there and I would be present and I would love that child so much. And so if I can do that for someone else, how can I not do that for my little self? How can I not do that for little Lo? How can I look little Lo in the eyes and be like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about my health. Sorry. Like, you're gonna have to deal with that consequence. You know what I'm saying? So, you're worth it. You are so worthy. You are so deserving of love, even if you're the only one that's giving it to yourself. I promise you that once you start feeding that shit to yourself, all of the people who are on that frequency are going to come to you. It's quantum physics. Quantum physics. If y'all don't believe in God and y'all don't believe in anything but energy and science, it's fine. It's the same shit. Science is white people proving it to you, proving what indigenous people have always known, proving what religion has always said, and what these things have always, all these different things that they indoctrinate us with are all of the same core essence. And that is that you are love. You are light. You already embody these things. You already have these things present in yourself. You don't need to go outside for them. No one is going to give you that until you give it to yourself. And I promise you, again, on a quantum physics level, once your vibration is raised and once you're out, you know, vibrating at your highest level, and by the way, the vibration raises when you take care of yourself, when you talk to yourself nicely, when you put things of the earth into your body to nourish yourself. That's something that I had to learn too, because a bitch was raised on processed food, okay? A bitch was raised on McDonald's and fucking, you know, burgers and shit, you know? And this is not the path for everyone, but personally for me, when I cut death out of my life, when I stopped eating death, that's when I started eating things that are alive, things that are nourishing. And that's not to say I don't eat some, you know, shit here and there. You know, I am not perfect, but I'm okay with that now. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with the fact that I'm going to stumble. And I love myself through the stumbles. I don't judge myself through the stumbles like the rest of the world likes to judge everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm plant-based. Someone just asked me if I'm vegan. I'm plant-based. I can't say I'm full vegan because it would be a lie. It would be a lie. I love honey. I do. I love honey. I think honey is so healing and it does so much. Of course, ethically sourced honey. I'm not trying to, and local honey, but you know, there's little things that I definitely, you know, will cheat about. I'm Cuban. Noche buena, I'm probably gonna have some shit I shouldn't be eating. One thing that I strictly am not eating right now though is red meat and pork. because I broke that the other day. I ate something that was red meat and I literally threw up for like 10 times. In the middle of the night, I woke up and just started throwing up. And my body was like, I'm done. I reject this. I don't want this in my body. I don't want this in here. And I've just been listening to her more. I've been listening to her more because I was forced to. I had like a health situation come up for me, which I'm not going to go into details about because that's my personal business. But I had some shit come up for me that really rocked my fucking world and really made me realize I have to take care of myself. I have to take care of myself. No one else is going to take care of me. I have to take care of me. I have to make decisions that are fruitful for my future self, that take my future self into account, so that I can navigate in my full potential and be here for y'all, you know? So anyways, let's get to healing, babies. Let's keep healing. Let's keep healing our energy. I love you. I love you so much. Like, I genuinely, like, if there's no one else in your life that tells you this, I love you. And I want you to love you. I want you to tell yourself that every fucking day until you believe it. And it's a process, let me tell you. Because some days I wake up and I'm like, I'm a fucking piece of shit. I'm a fucking piece of shit. Why the fuck am I even trying? You know what I'm saying? But those are narratives. Those are programs. And you can interrupt them. And you can reprogram your mind. It's possible. And I used to think it was literally impossible. I was like, bitch, meditation? Okay. I have tried for years to meditate. Years. People have been telling me about meditation for years. And I just now have done 4 or 5 consecutive days of meditating in 2020, in December of 2020. You feel me? So it's possible. Anything is possible. It's possible. No, that's, they say impossible, don't they? But you know what the fuck I mean. I mean, it's possible. Okay, I love you, and I'm gonna go now because I'm OD on this. I'm gonna put the link again in my story, and I'm gonna put it in the bottom, written out in the caption. So for all my overachievers, you can plug that into the interwebs and you'll find it. I love you. Mwah! Have a beautiful night. And the light. And